Now, you do need to do a little bit of modification. Oh, and I figured out what these wires are for. So I was wrong. The yellow wire needs to be connected to, and then the actual LED lights. Oh my God, that is bright. All right, so we have the cover off, and here we go. Wow, that is super bright. Hello everyone, welcome to Chasing Adventures, and we're going to be adding ditch lights on the 2025 Honda Pilot Trailsport. All right, so if you've been following my Pilot build, I added NovSight light bar and little LED pods to the both front and the rear of the Pilot to provide better visibility when driving in the dark, and connected to a wireless 8-gang switch panel. And if you haven't seen that video, I'll leave the link up here or in the video description so you can view it after this video. Anyways, so I added those lights, and it's been great to see a far distance and know what's ahead of you. But if you're roaming through the woods in the dark, you also need side visibility too. So that's why we're going to be adding ditch lights to the Pilot to give that more peripheral visibility in the dark. And I got NovSight lights because I had a very good experience with them when I had the ditch lights and the spotlights on the Subaru Outback Wilderness. So I contacted them again and asked what would be the best lights for my needs. And they provided their Halo series LED pods. One is a 3-inch and one is a 4.5-inch pod lights. And we're going to be comparing the two and decide which lights we're going to use. Now, they're both ditch light or spread pattern, but they also come in different patterns like the spotlights, driving lights, fog lights, or the spread pattern like these. So you have the option to pick out which pattern that best suits you. And to mount the ditch lights on the Pilot, I got Nolo design brackets to mount it. So first, let's take a look at the lights, and we'll install the lights on the Pilot and compare the two and decide which light we're going to be keeping it on the Pilot. And first off, I love NovSight packaging, and they didn't disappoint me with this one either. Everything is well protected, and all the wiring and the hardware is in this bag. And you also get some cool stickers. And just look at the detail of this box. It even has all the specs and graphs for all different light patterns. And since this is a spread beam, you get just over 200 feet of luminosity and around 150 feet of spread. But if you have the combo, if you get the combo beam, it'll illuminate up to a little over 800 feet and about 60 foot wide spread beam. And I believe the combo has two spots and one spread beam. But if you get the fog beam, you get about a little over about 500 feet and about 110, 120 spread beam. And the dry beam also gets different patterns. But if you need the longest distance light visibility, then you get the spot, because that'll illuminate up to about 1,400 feet. And that's pretty far distance. But then the only thing is, it's not going to give you any spread pattern, so you're not going to be able to see anything around you. So now these are the different choices of light patterns that you could pick. So you could pick out the ones that best works for you. And it also has all the specs here. Got the voltage between 10 to 30 volt, driving light color temperature from 6,000 Kelvin to 1,700 Kelvin. And lamp material is made with aluminum. The length is 3.43 inches, the width is 2.72 inches, and the height is 3.62 inches. And I love how it has dual color daytime running lights built into the pod to enhance aesthetic look to your rig. And it also comes with this protective amber cover. So in an inclement weather, this cover will help you to cut through the fog or rain and provide better visibility. And you also get a blacked out cover to be legal when driving in the city streets. And the pod itself is very well made and well protected and sealed to prevent any dust and water from getting into the pod. And it feels very solid and well built by using high quality parts, from aviation alloy to strong hard coated polycarbonate lens to new bright Pro class LED chips to improve luminosity up to 316% improvement in performance compared to other pods under the same conditions. And this is the mounting hardware and all the wiring. And the switch is a double button control to control the daytime running lights and the actual lights. But since I'm going to be using a switch box, I need to figure out how I'm going to wire it without using this and bringing this into the vehicle. And same thing for the 4.5-inch pods. You also get cool stickers and the pod itself. Now, comparison, this is actually really big compared to the 3.5-inch pots, and it's even longer in length. Yeah, this is pretty massive compared to this one. So you also get the amber covers with the daytime running lights around it, or the blackout lens cover to be legal. And all the wiring and hardware is inside the box as well. But looking at this graph here, they only offer a spot beam for the 4.5-inch pots and the spread beam. So you only have two choices. And the color temperature or the voltage is 10 to 30 volts, same thing. The length is 5.79 inches. The width is 3.98 inches. And the height is 3.86 inches. Oh, and also another thing I noticed, the spread beam on this pattern seems to be there. It's about equal distance to the 3.5-inch or to the 3-inch, but the spread is a little shorter compared to the 3-inch, where this one is roughly around 90 feet compared to about 150 feet for the 3-inch. All right, so first we need to install the ditch light bracket, and basically it's going to go in between the bolt and the hood bracket here, and all we need to do is loosen the 10mm bolt and slide the ditch light bracket in between that. Okay, so you don't need to take it out, you just have to loosen it enough for the bracket to go in. Okay, that should be good enough. Let's see if it works. Perfect. Then tighten the bolt back down. Okay, so the bracket is installed. Now, you do need to do a little bit of modification. This rubber grommet, you need to cut a little section for the bracket to slide in between the bracket. So otherwise, it'll just squeeze the gasket like this. So that's what we're going to do. Let me just mark it first. Right about there. And then figure out how long we need to cut it. So let me do that first. You can probably see it better in this angle, see what's happening here. And it's lifting up this rubber gasket, so that's why we need to make a slit. Or you could take the whole thing out, but if you do it, this whole section here is going to be exposed. So, you know, it's up to you, but I'd rather cut it and have a cleaner installation than just leaving everything open, because this is what it looks like if you take everything out and you get to see. Okay, so I have both of the rubber pieces out of the vehicle and I marked it here. So I think I'm just gonna use a X-Acto knife because this is a rubber piece. I'm just gonna trace the line and just cut that portion out. So just go over it a few times. Okay, that's loose. All right, so the rubber piece is cut, but I think I'm just gonna leave it like this. So when I close it, it's gonna go down with the bracket, and when I open the hood, it might just come back up like that. So let's do the other side. All right, so both pieces are cut, so all we have to do is install this back to the car and then mount the lights. All right, so I'm gonna close the hood and see if that lines up with the bracket. Okay, and everything is lined up, and you see where the cut is. It looks very clean like this, so yeah, it's really simple to do. All right, so I have the bracket mounted to the pod, and remember to put the long bolt in first, and then tighten these two bolts here. And I'll go right here like that. And I'm just gonna keep it loose for now, so we could adjust the angles and stuff like that later. But yeah, it's on there. Now I'm gonna put the 4.5-inch on the passenger side. Now for the wiring, looking at this, it does have some type of control box here. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to split this and connect it to the switch panel. But I have to look into it more. But for this test purpose, let's go ahead and connect the wire to the ditch lights and connect the positive and negative terminal and then turn it on and see how bright they are. All right, so I have the positive and negative connected to the switch panel, but they also have a green and yellow wire. I have no idea what this is for, honestly. It might be auxiliary wire, but again, I couldn't find any information on their website either. So let me try turning it on first with just the positive and negative terminal connected. And let's try turning the daytime running. Oh, yeah, so it does work. So we got amber, white, switching back and forth, and then the actual LED lights. Oh my God, that is bright. that totally blinded me right now. Wow. All right, so here's the daytime running lights in white and amber, or you could hold it and turn it off. And then here's the actual lights. Just be careful not to get blind. Jesus, that is bright. Oh my God. Yeah, this camera is not capturing how bright this is. So let me see. So this is about close to what I'm seeing right now in person. And let me turn on these lights again. Yeah, these are, oh my God. I can't even look at it. That's how bright they are. Now let's try putting the amber color and see how they look like. So here's the daytime running lights. That's probably the white color. And then the ambers. Ooh, that is a deep amber. I like that. And then let's try turning on the LED lights. Yeah, now I could kind of see it, but still it's very bright. But I love the warm glow of this amber cover. Nice. So we're gonna wait until it gets dark and we're gonna test out the lights and see which one I wanna put. Honestly, you know, the 4.5 is not that bad on the Pilot because the car's so wide and big. But I also like this 3-inch too. It's very small and I don't know. I guess we have to see which one works out better. You know, it's not always about the looks, it's about performance. So let's wait until the nightfall. All right, so now it's nightfall. And now let's first take a look at the headlights. So this is how bright the headlights and the OEM, well not the OEM, but then the yellow fog lights are on the vehicle. Now we're gonna turn on the driver's side 3-inch spread beams. Look at that, off and on. Just look at how much it illuminates all the way up at the top. And let me adjust this towards the side a little more. That's normally, I would have it like that. And look at how much, oh my God, this is so bright. I love it. It's lighting up the whole side of the vehicle. Look at that. Off and on. Now this is much brighter than the ones that I had before, which was the, I believe it was the Cyber 1 series. I am very impressed. Now let's go to the passenger side and we'll take a look at the 4.5-inch spread lights. All right, and let me adjust this towards the side a little bit as well. Okay. And here we go. Wow, it's lighting up the whole house behind there. They're gonna be pissed. But yeah, this is very bright. So now let's try with the amber covers off. All right, so we have the cover off, and here we go. Wow. That is super bright. Oh, I love it. And this is what the daytime running lights look like. So we got the amber color and the white color. That's fancy. And if we put the amber cover on there, it's gonna be more orange. Oh yeah. Oh, and I figured out what these wires are for. So the yellow is for daytime running lights, and the green is for the actual LEDs. So essentially what these wires are replacing is the switch itself, okay? So if you have it connected to the same positive and negative terminal and connect the green into the positive terminal, the LED light turns on. And if you have the yellow to any one of these switch panel or connect it to a fuse so that every time you turn on the ignition, the daytime running light turns on. Just like how we wired the Raptor lights on the grill. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to connect this into the fuse box and connect this into the same terminal as the positive and negative for the LEDs. So again, yellow is for daytime running lights and the green is for the actual LEDs. Just gonna connect this in here and connect the yellow wire to the fuse box. So I was wrong. The yellow wire needs to be connected to the same terminal as the LED, powering the LED lights. And then the green wire, it needs to be on a separate switch. Otherwise, so if I have this panel off, none of this works. So let me show you guys. Right now it's on and I have it connected to a separate switch. So let me turn that off first. See how it controls that? The actual lights. And if I turn up the switch that's connected to the pods, the whole thing turns off. And if I want to turn on the lights, nothing turns on. But if I turn on the switch that's connected to the actual LEDs, everything turns on. And if I turn off the switch that's connecting the green wire, then the LED turns off. So basically, you need to have the yellow wire connected to the same terminal as the lights, and then a green wire connected to a separate switch. That way, you could have the daytime running lights on, and this whole thing will be turned on. And if you want to turn the actual main LED lights, toggle that switch on, and it'll turn on. So that's how we're going to be wiring this. So again, this is the positive and negative connection to the pod lights, and the yellow wire will connect it to this main switch. And then a green wire separately to just the positive side. So that way when we turn on this switch, the actual main LED lights will turn on. Because if we have this off, this won't work. And I believe once you have connected to the correct switch panel, you could disconnect the switch wiring and just, cover it up with the electrical tape or whatnot. All right, guys, so I have it all wired up and it's under the hood, it's all done. Now the hard part, I can't decide which one I'm gonna keep on the car because they're both equally great. I would say the 4.5 inch is slightly narrower and I need to turn it more to have the same visibility as the 3-inch one. But then the 4.5 inch one has more of amber color. I wasn't sure when the car was outside, so I brought the car in and I lit it up towards the ceiling, and you could kind of tell the 4.5 is ever so slightly more amber than the 3-inch. But I like the small form factor of the 3-inch than the 4.5 inch. That to me seems like it belongs on top of the roof or in the grill somewhere. So I don't know. I mean, you guys let me know in the comment section which one I should keep on there. I'm leaning more towards the 3-inch, but I also like the 4.5 inch too. So yeah, let me know in the comments. All right, so this is gonna be a tough decision to make because it's basically, they're both great and it's all about cosmetics. So maybe I need to bring my wife down to help me decide. But whichever you go with, they're both going to be very helpful driving in the dark. And NovSight makes some top-notch products, so I highly recommend them. So thank you, NovSight, for providing these Halo series lights so that I could share with my viewers. And it's another great addition to the Pilot. And if you want to purchase them, I'll put the link to these lights along with the discount code in the video description for you guys. Also, Nolo design ditch light brackets were very sturdy and well built. And it's really easy to mount other than, a little cutting into the rubber gasket, but that wasn't so hard either. So I'll also leave the link and the discount code for Nolo design ditch light brackets in the video description as well. And I think I'm almost done with the build. Just need to put the rooftop tent and NovSight light bar, WeBoost antenna, and the rear lights back on the Pilot. And I'll be adding some side lights and the rock lights with also another product from NovSight, their rock lights on the Pilot. So make sure to stay tuned for that. So that's all I have for you guys today, and if this video was helpful, please like and consider subscribing to the channel if you're new so you won't miss when my next video is uploaded. So thank you all for tuning in today, and until next time, keep chasing adventures, and I'll see you all on my next video.